Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if it's your first time here. My name is Troy, and my goal with this series is to show that no matter how much or how little money you have, anyone can invest. If this is the first time you're even hearing of this series and you want to know what it's all about, click the link that's going to pop up above my head to get a full understanding of what I'm trying to accomplish with this portfolio. That first episode is going to explain things like why I picked the stocks I picked, how much I'm going to be investing and how often, and the overall goals of the portfolio. Once you're caught up there, feel free to watch the other episodes in order to see the natural progression of this portfolio, or just come back to this one to see where I'm currently at. With that being said, if you're already caught up and you're here for your bi-weekly update, let's get to it. In this video, I'm going to show you all where we left off at the end of last episode, where the portfolio currently sits, how my recent buys are impacting my cost basis, the all-time best and worst performers in the portfolio, my projected annualized returns based off of the current returns, any dividends received since the last update, forecast my upcoming dividends, and any news or things of note in the portfolio. Now, since it's been 2 weeks since the last episode, let's get a quick refresher on where we left off. Now, if you remember, our goal at the end of last episode was to get each of the holdings to $55. Our account balance was sitting at $641.25. And also, we were coming off of 3 consecutive weeks with the portfolio in the red, including being down a record almost $20. So next, let's see where this portfolio sits after the most recent set of buys. Remember, in last episode, I told you guys that I did do a fully automated $60 investment into this account. So the $60 is going in, I believe, every other Friday. And I have an automatic buy of $5 per stock happening every Monday. So all my purchases were done as of close of market on June 17th. We are 22 weeks into this portfolio, and since we're 22 weeks in, we have a goal of $60 per holding. And if you look down here at the bottom, the new account balance as of the end of close of market on June 17th was $728.47. Also mentioned in last episode, I was talking about the cost basis and how, despite me adding very little amounts of money to these positions bi-weekly, the cost basis in this portfolio, because the positions are really small, it's changing a lot. And I wanted to put a chart next to that to show you guys what I was talking about. So I made this chart right here. So in the far left, we have the tickers. We have all 12 stocks that make up the anyone can invest portfolio. The blue column is every cost basis, basically the cost I started each position at. And then you get into last week's cost basis, which is obviously last week's cost basis. And you guys can already see the changes for the good and the bad from episode 1 to last week. And then you can also see this week's cost basis. So the last column is the difference between last week and this week. So in this case, the cost basis going up is bad because now my shares are more expensive. In theory, my cost basis going up also means I'm in the green in those positions. And in the green, in the difference between last and this week, is the cost basis going down, which in theory means I'm down in those positions overall, but I'm able to lower my cost basis by a lot. So just some things to note here. You guys can see AVGO has been on a tear, right? So I bought it at $1,115 per share in episode 1 when I first started the portfolio. It's now $1,297.50. I went $24.17 up in cost basis, and I think I bought like $3 and something cents. Like I put in the $5 purchase, and Fidelity does whatever Fidelity does, and you get what you get kind of thing. So, but yeah, $24.17 off of like a $3 purchase is insane. That's ridiculous. So, yeah, and then you can see the other ones. I had $3.20 from CSL. That's another one that's doing very well in my very well in my portfolio. And then there's a lot of greens in here, which is good. That means I'm down in those positions now, but I'm able to lower my cost basis by a lot. Like KNSL is a very quality insurance kind of company. They're down I got a $4.86 reduction in my cost basis just over this, $5 purchase that I did this past week. So that's really good. You like to see that. So again, keep in mind that this is over the course of 11 buys of only $5-ish. So that's kind of wild to see that. I don't know if you guys track your cost basis as much as I like to. But yeah, I just thought this chart was pretty wild and fun to share. So next, we're actually going to go into the best and worst performer in the portfolio, which you guys will see right here. So as I spoiled just a second ago, AVGO Broadcom has been killing it. The day I took this picture, which was the 17th of June, Broadcom was up 5.21% just that day. That's ridiculous. And now it's up 40.95%. That's wild. And then obviously ODFL is down here at the bottom. That's my worst performer. I'm down 12.53% or $7.48. I didn't say Broadcoms. I'm up 40.95% or $23.38, which is kind of wild since the whole position is, worth $57.09. So that's kind of nuts. That does help me. Now that you look at the very bottom, I'm up 1.03% or $7.31. So I finally broke out of that 6-week losing streak in the portfolio to get my portfolio back in the green. And Broadcom's really, they announced a 10-to-1 stock split. So that was the really big thing. And, they mention AI a lot. They're in the AI game. You say AI 1,000 times in your earnings call and it does good things for you. So, if you want to IPO a company, there's your trick. But yeah, so they mentioned AI a lot. They are AI. They're doing really good. They had good numbers. They announced that 10-to-1 stock split. So it's going to get a lot cheaper to own. You're not necessarily getting more or less of the company. You're just getting, technically more shares, but it costs less. So it's the same thing. Just don't worry about it. But anyway, so that all that stuff fueled the portfolio to its first breaking out of its 6-week slump, and putting me back in the green. So let's take those numbers, that 1.03% positive and the $7.31 in the green, and put it and chart it to where we've been. So you guys can see right here, all the way back to episode 1, where the portfolio was. Obviously, I don't have any gains or losses to report when I started the portfolio. And then you can see I quickly trended up. At one point, I was projecting a 50.7% annualized return, which not sustainable. So obviously, it didn't sustain. And then at one point, I was up $23.03. Obviously, that could be sustainable, but time will tell. Then we get all the way down. We started slowly losing that 23 down to 14.51, down to 5.23. And then we were negative from episode 9, $6.96 in the red, 13 cents in the negative. Oh, we had a little rebound. Oh, then we're down $19. Now we're up $7.31, like I just mentioned. So our projected annualized return for this portfolio is sitting at 2.43%. I don't think it'll be that low. I don't think it'll be as high as 50%. I don't think it'll be as low as, negative 7.9%. Time will tell. Make sure you're subscribed and keep following along for this series. I'm going to try to get it out sometime between Monday and Thursday every other week. I'm trying to get it out earlier in the week, so Monday, Tuesday-ish, but we'll see what happens with time and stuff. So next, let's go over the dividends received in this portfolio. One of the great things about this portfolio is it pays me frequently and often, the same thing, but pays me a lot. So next, we have this dividend that we received on June 13 from KNSL, which was the second time I received dividends from them. I don't have this screenshot here. I think the first time I received dividends from them, I got 1 cent, and now I got 2 cents from them. So on the 13th, I got 2 cents from KNSL. You guys will see it on the video that I'm going to edit. I just forgot to put it in my slideshow, so I don't have it. You guys will see it because of the magic of editing. So, but there, June 13th, we had 2 cents from KNSL. Second time I received it, I believe the first time was a penny. Editing me will figure that out. So next, I wanted to go over the monthly tracker, right? I want to add all these numbers up from KNSL and see how much we're looking at in June so far, how that compares to March, all the things, right? So here with this little lovely chart I love to share with everybody, you guys can see January 3 cents, February 5 cents, March 10 cents, 18 cents for quarter 1. Then we had 45.40, and we're at 13 cents for June. I've only received 2 payments in June so far. But we're already up at the 98 cents for the quarter. We do have more payments coming in June. So I'm really curious to see, I'm 99.9% sure we're going to break $1. I just want to see how high we can get this quarter. And then, that sets the bar for quarter 3. And we try to rinse and repeat. We try to beat 45 cents for April, 40 cents for May, or Sorry. We'll try to beat 45 cents for July. We'll try to beat 40 cents for August, and we'll try to beat whatever June's total is in September. That's just how it works. Name of the game. Keep it going. Keep chasing something. So already for the year, we're at $1.16. Obviously, nobody's retiring off of that. It's not exciting to a lot of people, but I made $1.16 with this portfolio, showing that anybody can invest, and it's more than no dollars and no cents. So I'm helping us all create this passive income that you can finally one day sit back and, whether it's retiring off of it or whether it's literally just enough to pay for a grocery trip once a month, whether it's your vacation fund, like you don't have to fire. You don't have to be financially independent, retire early with dividends. You can use it in a plethora of ways. It can pay your car payment. It can use on a vacation fund. It can retire you early, whatever you want it to. So the goals and options are limitless. So next, I want to show you guys, speaking of what I have left for June, I want to show you guys what I do have left for June. And I also am sharing with you guys the ex-dividend dates. Nobody commented that they cared about that, but I had the information, so I thought I'd share it with you guys right here. So first thing you'll see is the calendar for June. You guys can see that I took the screenshot on the 17th of June. I have an ex-dividend date on the 18th. I am getting paid on the 19th from ODFL. And then I have an ex-dividend date on the 24th, and I'm getting paid from Broadcom on the 28th of June. And then I'm going to get an interest payment probably also on the 28th. I think that's a Friday, just for the cash that's sitting in the account. I don't know why there's cash in the account. It's just because, one, the dividends are going back in there, and two, like I said, Fidelity's not investing my full $5 into each stock, so I have a little bit remaining. I talked last week of what I'm going to do with that. Wait till it gets to $60, and then we're going to do like a quote unquote bonus investment, even though it's not a bonus investment because it should have been invested already anyway. But I digress. So next thing I want to show here is the ex-dividend dates, right? So I said I have an ex-dividend date on the 18th. That is with PHM. I'm expecting a dividend of 2 cents with them. I don't know why it shows sometimes and then doesn't show other times. So the 24th, I think this is actually wild. So the 24th ex-dividend date is Broadcom. And if you remember, on the 28th, Broadcom is paying me. That's wild to me. I don't know why I'm so fascinated by that, but they're going ex-dividend on the 24th, and then that same week they're paying out. I think that's crazy. I don't know if there's any correlation to that, like being a super successful company where their ex-dividend dates are close to their payout dates. No idea. Probably not. But I just thought that was wild. Most of the time it's like, oh, your ex-dividend dates, here, and then 6 weeks later you'll get paid, or 4 weeks later you'll get paid, or whatever. So I just thought that was crazy. So, and then here's the 28th. You can see that my payment of 23 cents estimated from Broadcom is going to be coming out. And then I have Humera going ex-dividend on the 28th, and Dillard's going ex-dividend on the 28th. So very, very excited about that. We'll see how that goes. But with that, if you like this series, I have a few favors to ask you really quick. First, if you guys could leave a like on the video, as it helps me with the YouTube algorithm somehow. Second of all, leave a comment down below. I want to know if you guys have anything that you want me to add or remove from this series to make it better. And lastly, if you guys really, really enjoy this series, share it with a friend or a family member, because at the end of the day, I'm really trying to show that anyone can invest. And if you want to see what staying disciplined in investing can turn into in a few short years, make sure you check out this video where I detail my portfolio that I'm going to use to retire early. But until next time, see you.